anatupiwa mawe, polisi anataka kuua polisi, ati atakuja kupembelezwa. Unafikiria bunduki ni mandazi? Unatoroka tu wakati unaona ile yenye uko nayo, hata ukipeleka 5 6 bado ni wengi. Lakini kwa mjinga watu 10 20 hapo, wewe unashindwa na hiyo kazi. Na hii sio yangu peke yake, ni amri kutoka juu.
That is Kipchumba Murkomen with his famous words, bunduki si mandazi. So that is the thinking capacity ya huyu jamaa. He was out here time ya maandamano akiambia polisi they have the right to shoot and kill protesters. And ako hapo confident hadi ana compare ati watu 5 to 10 you can handle. Sija anafikiria yeye ni John Wick, jo amevaa suti hapo. Anafikiria John Wick ni mkali anaitwa John Kipchirchir Wick. Like, what do you think, Mr. Kipchumba Murkomen? And you're a lawyer, you're supposed to know the law, but clearly you don't care about the Kenyan laws, you don't care about human rights. Wewe uko hapo unapatiana order, unasema it's order from above, shoot to kill. That's it. Hiyo ndio thinking capacity ya mtu mwenye amesoma. He's a qualified lawyer, one of the best. Ameenda South Africa, amesoma America in Washington. Anarudi na hiyo thinking capacity, anaambia watu shoot to kill. And he has no respect for law. In fact, ebu tuone what he was saying back time ya maandamano when he was told, when they tried to, do you remember they shut off the TV? They shut off the TV because wako wanataka live broadcast. Ebu tusikie what he was saying back then.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen on Thursday, however, backed CA's directive banning live broadcast of demonstrations on the grounds that media helped mobilize demonstrators.
Most of the media houses are working very hard during the onset of protest, telling people, oh yeah, wengine wamekuja, sasa tayari ndio hawa. They interviewing people in the street, tell them, what do you tell those who are still at home? But what was even of greater concern to me is some of the media stations whose job was directing the protesters. And they are saying, oh, now they are in Thika Road. As soon as they converge with the ones in Kiambu Road, the possibility is that they will pass through museum and State House will be very near.
So according to him, the media who are doing their job, live broadcast, walikuwa wanapatiana clues ati mwende hivi Thika Road, mwende hivi mtakutana, alafu mtaenda State House. So that is why he was supporting the ban of live broadcast. He believes that if he muzzles the media, ati news haitaenda nje. Anafikiria it's 1999 ama anafikiria what year are we living in. Watu wako na simu, they can communicate. So this is just a very worrying sign. Inamaanisha what they are planning to do election time. I don't like hizo conspiracy theories, but this was a sign. Come on, azima live broadcast. It's probably a testing ground. Wanajaribu saizi before ikifika time ya election, they can do the same, cause I'm pretty sure they are willing to do anything to remain in power. But tuendelee tusikie what was happening hii time yenye waliambiwa muwashe TV iendelee live broadcast, and you were saying hell no, hatutaki live broadcast. Let's continue.
The Cabinet Secretary saying the Kenya Kwanza administration would not hesitate to take such a move again, regardless of court orders.
It is easy. I can suffer a court order. I can pay for a court order or so forth, but I cannot pay for people's lives when they die. And I cannot return back the nation. So I would rather appear before a judge in a still working country and explain why I made a particular decision than to doubt myself and say, I cannot make this decision, and then tomorrow there is no country. There is even no judge to explain to.
This guy is a joke. He is a joke completely. He believes that bado anafikiria Kenya ni kama hiyo enzi za Moi, where you can do anything and do everything by force. You just do everything by force, so you'll answer later. He does not care about anything. Na huwa ako hapo kudefend polisi when police are doing terrible things, ako hapo kudefend. when he's incompetent. He's incompetent. Ikifika ni kwa demonstrations, he's incompetent. Ikifika time yenye alikuwa transport CS ama alikuwa nini? Alikuwa hapo JKIA, maji inamwagika, generators zimekufa. In fact, we're going to look at all those videos. But tuendelee tuone Murkomen at his best. John Kipchirchir Week Murkomen.
Responding to a court case filed by former presidential candidate Ruben Kigame accusing him and senior security officials in the country of using excessive force during recent protests, Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen has brushed off threats of international criminal court action. He insists the government's response was lawful and vowed not to be cowed by what he described as anarchists masquerading as human rights defenders.
We will not allow our country to become an experimental place for anarchists to want to subvert the constitution, to want to meet terror on the people of Kenya and to get away with it just because some people want to scare us with ICC. Please scare somebody else.
Kigame has petitioned for the prosecution of the CS, the Inspector General and the DCI Director at an international court over alleged human rights violations and acts of violence during the protest. But Murkomen, citing his background as a law student, maintains his actions were guided by the constitutions and warned he would respond the same way if similar protests erupt in the future.
As a lawyer, I am very clear in my mind. Not just a lawyer, but a lawyer who has studied international human rights and humanitarian law. I understand the role of the International Criminal Court. Given another chance like that, we will do the same.
He will do the same. So already, nimeonyesha hapo waliambiwa wasizime TV, live TV. It's allowed, media companies are allowed to broadcast live. Amesema he doesn't care. He will do it because to save the country. He's doing it to save the country, okay? So he will disregard court orders za kuzima live TV and he will do it again. Saizi ako hapa anatuambia he does not care about ICC because your time there was a lot of police brutality. He says he doesn't care how go piano woga mkimpeleka ICC. And I believe him because what happens when they go to ICC, we've already seen this playbook. Wakipelekwa ICC, the witnesses disappear and then KC inatolewa. So he knows already, even if he was to go to ICC, nani atakuwa witness, nani atakuwa witness. No one will be a witness. So he does not care. He's not afraid of ICC. He's not afraid of the Kenyan law courts. He is free to do whatever the hell he wants. And what does he do when he's supposed to do his job? He's the CS. He's supposed to do his job. And let's see what the hell he does. Time in your BBC investigated and there was sexual trafficking case. What did this Kipchumba Murkomen say about that BBC investigation? Interior
Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has reiterated that the BBC documentary exposing sex trafficking of minors in Mai Mahiu was scripted. Murkomen says investigations conducted by the DCI revealed the people who featured in the documentary were coached and paid. The BBC has disputed the claims that their crew paid victims who were interviewed as part of the documentary.
Through the DCI investigation, it was established that that BBC documentary was fake because the people they interviewed were not under 18 and they, paid people to do the interview and so forth. And we stand by our story. That is true, that they paid people to do the story. However, it does not mean, and I want to insist here, and I say that in Parliament, it does not mean we don't have problems of trafficking.
Okay, so ako hapa time in BBC imefanya investigation, something that they don't do. Huwa wanangoja hadi BBC ifanye investigation kama ile time yenye watu waliuliwa parliament, maandamano, BBC imefanya investigation and then they all run out and say, no, BBC hapa imefanya is lying, BBC is lying, this is not true. And then saizi BBC did an investigation of trafficking of underage people in Mai Mahiu, and then huyu anakuja hapa na hiyo education yake yote na mtu amesoma. Like, how can you be so book smart and stupid at the same time? hizi vitu huwa zinanishangaza sana na our African leaders, our Kenyan leaders. They have gone to some of the best schools. Wengine wameenda Harvard, wengine wameenda wapi, some of the best schools in the world, but akili wana reason vijinga sana. This man here ako hapa anaenda live in front of news cameras kuambia watu it was all scripted. Hiyo ilikuwa ni script, waliandikiwa script, wakalipwa, and then it doesn't happen. Like what is this? Seriously, what is this, Mr. Murkomen? You are so educated but very incompetent. So it's either you are just stupid in life, in real life you're stupid. You're book smart but stupid, or you're just evil. It's one of the two. You are evil, either you want people to just be shot dead. Ni kama ni movie ya John Wick, watu wanapigwa risasi left, right, center, time ya maandamano. Ikifika a serious case that you're supposed to work on, kama hizi trafficking, uko hapa unaambia watu it was scripted. And then given even a small responsibility, JKIA, mabati ina leak, but I'm on the hardware store to move fix mabati inawashinda. Hebu tuone what you are doing back time yenye you are supposed to be in charge of hizo mambo na JKIA was a complete mess. Hebu tuone how it was time yenye stima inapotea, JKIA, mvua inanyesha, is leaking water everywhere. What were you saying, Mr. Murkomen?
On November 15th this year, a leaking roof sent Transport and Roads Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen on an emergency tour of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Heavy rains had exposed the literal cracks on the airport infrastructure, with Kenyans outraged by images of shame coming out of the region's busiest and largest airport. A leaking roof aside, dysfunctional power generators were another cause of concern at the JKIA. CS Murkomen toured the substation that houses the backup generators to assess progress in the installation of the generators, which he had directed installed after the previous blackout, which disrupted services at the international airport for more than 20 minutes.
All these things rotate around our engineering department. The state of neglect also in terms of power backup. We have generators which have been here for 2 years and they are not installed. I think the ultimate fixing will be complete within the next 1 month. But in the interim, we are putting in place measures to ensure that should there be another blackout, we don't have that long period of problem that we have. And I'm not saying this so that somebody somewhere goes and sabotages electricity here to test whether we have a problem again.
Okay, so before we continue, already tuangalie scorecard ya Murkomen. Scorecard ya Murkomen is, first of all, he was saying shoot to kill order. Mnafikiria bunduki ni mandazi, okay? So shoot to kill order. Alafu akasema TV zizimwe, live broadcast is not allowed. He does not care about court order or not. Okay? So far tuko hapo. Shoot to kill, bunduki si mandazi, live broadcast, watazima TV anytime they want because they can. And then what else? Then it's mingi mpaka hata I'm already forgetting. Oh, he said also ICC, haogopi ICC. Wampeleke ICC, they can do whatever because he's not afraid of International Criminal Court. Okay? Ikafika time ya kuinvestigate trafficking ya watoi. Trafficking ya underage watoi, anasema that was scripted, okay? Saizi imefika JKIA, maji na mwagika, hawezi afford mabati, hawezi enda hata kwa hardware store ya Kia Michael whatever, a random hardware store, waeke mabati proper. JKIA, the first port of entry yenye many tourists wanaingia, wanapata kunanyesha. Anasema ni sabotage. Kuna sabotage, ndio maana stima zinapotea, ndio maana generator haifanyi kazi. And he's the one in charge. So far I'm seeing a trend. He's incompetent and evil, okay? Incompetent, Evil. Tuendele.
November 30th, the CS received the interim report from the technical committee he formed to review the state of the JKIA, Moi Mombasa International Airport and the Wilson Airport. And on the JKIA and its power-related challenges, the committee recommended immediate procurement and installation of standby generators to provide primary backup and provision of the additional secondary backup generator to terminals 1A, 1E and 2. 10 days later, these were the scenes at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. As the country experienced a nationwide blackout, the terminals were pitch dark and Kenyans turned to social media with widespread criticism of the Transport Ministry, branding the night one of national shame.
So this idiot, ameenda wakanunua generator, wakaeka, alafu 10 days later, blackout everywhere, alafu anakuja anatuambia it was sabotage. It was sabotage. Kuna mtu anataka kuaibisha hii Kenya Kwanza government. It was sabotage. Enye, we are truly a third world country. We are third world completely. In fact, I think tuko huko ma fourth world. Is almost levels of Somalia. We are so behind. Kama hao ndio leaders wenye tuko nao. Ebu Ay man, ebu tuendele.
But what happened to the backup generators? In a statement released by the ministry following the incident, the CS suggested possible acts of sabotage and cover-up and asked the police to institute investigations. In a letter addressed to the Inspector General of Police, Japhet Koome, and copied to the Chief of Staff, Felix Koskei, the Interior Cabinet Secretary, Professor Kithure Kindiki, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Transport, and the Acting Managing Director, KAA, Henry Ogoye, the CS acknowledges that while the facility has experienced blackouts before, where backup generators have failed, they had conducted numerous tests to ensure the backup generators functioned. But he notes that despite the interventions, JKIA once again experienced a failure in the changeover from grid power to the generators, a matter that has since raised eyebrows. He asked IG Koome to send a team of investigators to probe the failure to ensure there was no sabotage, noting that the airport is a facility of strategic national security and economic importance. During the blackout, many Kenyans raised issue on its impact on security and the risks posed by darkness in an entry point.
Okay, so Murkomen, Ebu, come close to the speaker, wherever you are listening to. Are you stupid or what? Like, that's an honest question. I think you are life stupid. You are book smart, but you are stupid in general because yuko hapa, even a random M-Pesa joint hapo Nairobi CBD or random M-Pesa joint iko na cameras. You can look. Unataka kuniambia JKIA amkuwa na camera hata around hizo ma generator room, if there is sabotage, as you allege, to find out what the hell is happening. Like, unajua wana cast sana kwa ma videos, but this time nimejaribu, I have not cast. But Mr. Murkomen, you have to do better. Speaking of sabotage, you have been named as one of the people who sabotaged Kenyans' money kwa NYS Scandal. Other Kenyans might have forgotten, but mimi huwa sisahau. I did not forget that Murkomen, you were named in the NYS Scandal. Able to wonder what happened during time at NYS.
Documents seen by NTV show that Murkomen's law firm received 15 million shillings from Out of the Box. Leila Mohammed with the details.
Wakili ya huyo alikuwa anaitwa Murkomen. Alilipwa pesa, but you cannot even bring a page of a receipt that indicates that Senator Kipchumba Murkomen was paid even a dime.
In less than a week, the Elgeyo Marakwet legislator has come out guns blazing in a fierce campaign to delink himself from a scandal that probably robbed the country of billions of shillings.
Similarly, there have been transactions involving Ben Gedhi and Josephine Kafura with Senator Kipchumba Murkomen and with Farouk Kibet.
In his recent statement, Murkomen now denies ever receiving 15 million shillings from his client Out of the Box. He notes, quote, "A cursory observation makes this ridiculously high amount for legal fees by an individual. As a matter of fact, if there were legal fees, then the transaction in question would have been in excess of 3 billion. End quote.
I am not the first lawyer to represent criminals. I will not be the last lawyer to represent criminals.
Okay, so he has confessed. He is not the first lawyer to represent criminals. He will not be the last lawyer to represent criminals. So according to Yeye time, he was saying that your NYS law firm yake received 15 million shillings. I think it was, I don't know, 15 million, it was like $150,000. Iliingia kwa account ya law firm yake. And then, yeye anasema hakuguza hata bob. Hata kununua nayo ni Big G ama the cheapest thing you can find. Hata mabuyu hakununua nayo na hiyo pesa. Pesa iliingia tu kwa account hivi ikitokanga. Ilikuwa touch and go. Ili touch account hivi ikitoka ikienda elsewhere. So yeye he's innocent. Mweupe kama pamba. NYS money, he did not eat NYS money at all. Cause yeye mweupe kama pamba. Blame Waiguru and the rest. He should not be named kwa hiyo. He is not the first lawyer to represent criminals and not the last. And he was correct because he represented someone on another scandal. Mnakumbuka Kimwarer scandal, dam scandal. He represented someone. Sijui kama atasema hiyo pia kulipwa, but hebu tuone.
A few minutes ago, Senator Kipchumba Murkomen just arrived at the DCI headquarters. He says that he is representing one of the suspects. Unfortunately, he has not mentioned the one he is representing.
Okay, so you've heard it yourself. The presenter amesema Murkomen alikuwa hapo DCI headquarters time ya Kimwarer and Aror dams scandal. He was representing one of the suspects when waliiba hiyo pesa Kimwarer and Aror. The previous clip nimekuonyesha, he was there, pesa ya NYS iliingia kwa account yake, akasema kukula hata bob. Saizi Kimwarer and Aror, he was there DCI representing someone. Unataka kuniambia alikuwa anafanya free, alikuwa anafanya pro bono for free. Okay, but that's the type of person Murkomen is. When he's supposed to do his job, that he swore an oath to do the right thing, he does not fucking do the job. He does not do his fucking job. Time inafaa investigate hizo mambo na trafficking. He does not do a job. He says it was made up, scripted. Time yenye he's supposed to protect Kenyans, anawaambia mpigwe one leg movement, mpigwe hapo marisasi. He shuts off the live TV. He's not afraid of the ICC. He's not afraid of anything. He's supposed to do his job. He does not care. In fact, wacha niwakumbushe, for the last time, tukimalizanga hii video ya this guy, Jubaland forces. What the fuck did this guy say about Jubaland forces when walikuwa Kenya? What was his opinion? Because he's supposed to be the one protecting Kenyans. What did you say, Mr. Murkomen?
Wanaenda kuongea huko nje kiolela mambo ya usalama. Wanatafutia siasa ya pesa nani mambo ya usalama. Kweli tumekuwa na bahati mbaya kwamba watu kama hawa wamewahi kukaa kwa National Security Council. You know? Mtu umewahi kukaa kwa National Security Committee. You know, huwezi enda kuongea kiolela mambo ya uongo ili kuharibia nchi yako. Mimi nataka kusema hapa wazi. Kenya is not under any threat from Somalia or any regional force from Somalia. The only threat we face as a country is the threat of Al-Shabaab.
So that's what he said. He said hakuna Jubaland forces. The only threat we face from Somalia is Al-Shabaab. So this is the type of CS Ruto government with a PhD Ruto decided to put in charge. And I can guarantee you in future, once Ruto ametoka leadership, this guy will try to run for presidency. I can see it already. I can guarantee it because in Kenya it's a tribal country, so they go by regions. Ukiangalia region ya Wakale, who will be taking over? It's not going to be like kina Gideon Moi and the rest. Itakuwa ni this crew ya hao watu. And I can see this guy in future looking to become president. And we've already seen his type of leadership. You've seen this type of scandals. Zinamguza, but somehow he's clean. This is the type of leadership Kenya has. Man, say these things are so disappointing. Let's go register to vote so that we can vote out these people tafadhali. If you like this video, please consider liking, subscribing. Hii channel ni mpya, we want to grow it. Tutaonana next time.